It's Toya, come back, or Tayo to you depending on which time zone you are in. Hello everyone! Sorry about not streaming last night. I was getting ready for some things in the AM today. I went to a con. I had a lot of fun. Yeah. Got a lot of merch. My wallet, my poor wallet was like, Toya, how could you do this? How could you do this? I know payday's next week, but like, how could you do this, Toya? Why? But yeah, I got a lot of things for my friends and stuff, and I also snagged some things for myself. I actually got this like really cool, kind of like magnetic little keychain trigger thingy, where it's like you can put your own charms in it, and it's held together, like the two halves of it are held together by a magnet. But it also looks like a Game Boy, right? So I picked one to look like a blue Game Boy Color, and I'm like, you know what? It fits in my aesthetic. I really like it. And I don't know, I feel like it's one of my favorite purchases from the con today. It was kind of a small con. It was more of like a cosplay slash fan art slash artist convention type of thing. So I was getting ready to do a little bit of cosplaying for that. So yeah, I'm not gonna post photos of it, but like yeah, it was really fun. I gotta meet a lot of people. You know, I gotta meet a lot of people. I gotta run some errands. I was able to get some merch and other things for my friends. So yeah, really like that. So in any case, today's stream, we are gonna be finishing up the investigation portion of episode 3 and then actually doing the trial and seeing what exactly happened with Harebrayne's machine. How did it shoot? Like, what happened? I'm assuming the crossbow hit the machine and then everything went kaput, among other things. And also we need to figure out what exactly this green garb is. Actually, I don't remember us taking a look at it, so let's do that before we go to the Madame Tispel's wax museum. Yes, let's carry on. But yeah, speaking of cons, I was basically on that con diet today. I woke up this morning, I was like, I had like a small Cinnabon and like some protein and coffee, and then I went to the con until like at around what 6:30 I got dinner. So I didn't eat anything like from the morning until like 6:30. I drank some water and like had more coffee and stuff, but like until like 6:30 I just had a really big dinner. So you know, we're on that con diet. Yeah. Okay, let's figure out what this is. Canvas-like material backed with rubber. So I assume this is meant for like insulation, right? Like this, I assume this is the canvas side and this the rubber side. It looks like layers of thick canvas of a thick rubber lining of sorts. I've never seen anything like it before. But applying Mr. Sholmes' methods, you might deduce it was part of a raincoat worn by someone who really didn't want to get wet. I mean, it could be that, or it could be something else, right? Like, it could be like tentage, right? It could be used for insulation, like other things, right? And the charring must have occurred when the person was struck by lightning. Of course. I assume the charring happened when the machine exploded, but okay. But I mean, okay, to be fair, like the machine that Harebrayne used was using electricity and voltage to disassemble our atoms and molecules to like beam them up. So he's not exactly far off the mark, but like, I don't think they were struck by lightning. Or maybe not. Okay. So I guess we're not getting any more information about this. I mean, unless we figure out like where this came from, right? Because just by itself, it doesn't really mean anything. But anyways, let's go to Madame Tispel's. Let's go. All right, Sholmes, tell me what you know. 22nd October, Madame Tispel's Museum of Waxworks. Oh. Okay, that's a Huh. What is this place? This is giving me like Elizabeth Bathory vibes because there's a bathtub, right? So like is she gonna kill this maid and soak in the blood of maidens? Is that what's happening here? I'm not sure. Look at all these terrifying scenes. But why are all the people so still? Guillotines. Ruthless murderers. I know what I'll be dreaming about tonight. Please do not touch the statues. I'm gonna touch everything, man. I assume this is the guard, right? But like also, based on the fact that this looks way more modeled, I assume this is actually a person too. They're all wax models. They're amazingly realistic, aren't they? What do you think, Bruno? Shocked? Wax models? Dots. Ugh! I read about the dead bodies in wax once. In a magazine about strange phenomena. Like, were you reading like an Egyptian like burial thing, or like what was happening with that? Depending on how corpses are kept after death, the parts of them can turn to wax apparently. Huh? Really? It's called a adiposury? I mean, cause like adipose is fat, right? So is it like adiposury, so adipose, so that's fat. So is it like the fat in your body like going through like changes to make it become wax? I'm not too sure. Stop talking about creepy things like that, Runo. You're scaring me. Hang on, I'm curious now. Adipose is a waxy substance that forms during the decomposition of body fat under specific conditions, especially in moist. Okay, so it is body fat. Okay. Oh, it's like the kind of off-white coloring that happens with some corpses. Okay, yeah. Wait, how do I pronounce this? Hang on. I looked it up, but how do I pronounce this? Adipocia? Adipocia. Oh, adipocere. Okay, adipocia. Oh, wait. Hang on. Anyway, adipocia doesn't form readily, you know. It's only in very specific. Ah! What now? I've just remembered something else I read in another magazine about strange phenomena. What are you reading, Rinosuke? There was an old lady, maybe a witch, who used to pour molten wax over corpses and put them on display. None of the exhibits here are real. They're all entirely man-made replicas. They can't be. Do you really expect me to believe that? Just look at them. Oh. They're just, I mean, except for those two, like just really well made. There's no way anybody could make models of people that are this realistic. Is that Jones? Hello, good sir. He's just standing there. Good sir. Good sir. What the hell? I mean, I assume this is Jack the Ripper, right? And they're all such gruesome scenes. Wait. He's so still. What the hell? What is it? Oh, no. I must be seeing things. I mean, if we're seeing Sherlock Holmes just standing there right next to what appears to be Jack the Ripper. No, I don't think you're seeing things, Rinosuke. I think you're just seeing him. Is that a... What the fuck? Is that a hand? What the hell? Whose hand is this? Anyways, I'm gonna confirm. Is this... Bathory? Is this some infamous murder? Oh, Jane the... Okay. Yes. Called Jane the Ripper. All her victims are young women. I knew it. You can tell by the way she's holding that knife. Sure sign of a murderer. Well, yes. Ugh. What's the matter, Runo? I've worked it out. I know what she's doing. Is she gonna stab her and then take her to the bath? She's trying to fill that bath with blood so she can have a soak in her victim's gore. Not according to the information about the exhibit on the little board here. It doesn't mention anything about the bathtub. Then why is it there? Then why is the bathtub there? I thought this is like Elizabeth Bathory or something, because she was known to do that, right? Like she was the inspiration for Camilla. You know, the female vampire. Really? Yeah, so like why is the bathtub there? Sorry, I don't think it's significant. Dot. I still think it has to be there for a reason. But look at that, like with like her hair is like super vampire-esque, right? And like look at how pale she is. Okay, what exactly is this? That big heavy curtain is in a very prominent position, isn't it? I have a nasty feeling there's gonna be something truly terrifying behind it. Oh yes! That's the famous Dispel special exhibit. The special exhibit? What's so special about it? It depicts one of England's most notorious killers. Do you want to pay the extra fee and have a look? Pay more money? To be even more terrified? Ooh, let me think about that for a moment. It was only a suggestion. Yeah, Renosuke, like you don't have to be like so all about it, you know? Okay. But this is very suspicious, right? Like, did the wax model fall over or what? Dots. Is this an arm? It looks like an arm, doesn't it? Maybe one of the waxwork models has fallen over. You don't think it could be the work of one of the mass murderers here, do you? Runo, stop scaring me! Is it a wax arm? Or a real one? Come on, you're always pointing that finger of yours in court. Poke that arm now and see how it feels, but we're explicitly told not to touch the statues, Iris. Objection! Wait, actually, like this and these have the same textures. I assume this guy is actually a guard, but this one, where are you meant to be? These models are so well made. I can't tell what's a waxwork and what's a real human. Or maybe all the exhibits are real people. And when it's closing time and all the visitors have gone home, they suddenly stop moving about. Yes, it's just 9 at the museum, Iris. Absolutely. Yeah. Just thinking about it makes me wish it was closing time already and I was on my way home. Wait. I just thought of something. Like, cause like Renosuke was talking about how like, he was reading a magazine about strange phenomena, right? And the last time we played the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, he was talking about basically UFOs and like it was stuff that he read. So he probably likes reading a lot of like horror or like strange happenings or something similar to that. Yeah. Right? Like, that makes sense. This is Jack the Ripper, isn't it? Yeah. Is this an example of Western Tsujigiri? Tsujigiri? Dots. Hang on. Tsujigiri. Is a Japanese term for practice when a samurai, after receiving a new katana or developing a new fighting style or weapon, tests its effectiveness by attacking a human opponent, usually a random defenseless passerby, in many cases during night. Ah, okay. I see how you could have come to that conclusion, Ryunosuke. Absolutely. I don't know what that is. You know, when an unscrupulous samurai randomly attacks a passerby to test a sword? I still don't know. No. But actually, a waxwork samurai would probably be highly popular. Could you model it, do you think, Bruno? Doing that Tsujigiri thing you mentioned. Well, I do have a sword, but I've no intention of testing how sharp it is on a human subject. For now, for now? Who are you planning to stab, Ryunosuke? What the fuck? Sir. No. Bad. We do not stab people here. No. Absolutely not, good sir. Absolutely not. But is it, like, Jack the Ripper or what? It's Sherlock Sholmes. The great detective, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes has his own wax statue in here? Really? No, he's screwing with you, dude. Come on. Well, he is world famous after all. It's an uncanny resemblance, isn't it? It makes my skin crawl to look at it. I know! But look, Bruno. You can kick this Hurley, and he doesn't move a muscle. Oh my god, Iris, no! You can't go around kicking the exhibits, Iris. Oh my god. I love the fact that he waited until Iris is facing us to like cringe in pain. Like, I raised this child. I raised this child. And he's like, oh my god. Wait. Oh, it just moved, I'm sure. Not just a little bit either. Really? Did it? Good sir. Good sir, what are you up to? And look closely. There are beads of sweat on his face. On the face of this waxwork model. Dots. Dots. Shall we move on, Iris? Over there, look! There's a great murder scene to enjoy! Much more appealing. Much more appealing than the face of this great detective right here. Absolutely. Oh. A Sholmes hold it? My dear fellow, I take exception to your recoiling in such a manner, as if you've seen something truly abhorrent. I mean, we can't argue against that. All right. I guess you're breaking the illusion. Mr. Sholmes, I knew it. No shit, Sherlock, like, bro, he cringed in pain. Iris, what possessed you? I strictly forbade you from divulging my temporary waxwork secret to Mr. Naruhodo. Temporary waxwork? What do you mean? Wait, like, are you actually here to just, like, are you modeling for, like, a model? Like a wax model? Or are you getting paid to, like, stand in place, sir? And that kick! Could you not have exercised a little more restraint? You winded me! But Reno has something he needs to ask you. I mean, of course you knew. Ah, a question. And I thought you'd probably be getting bored too. So here we are. Well, I can't deny that your timing was impeccable. A mere 2 minutes more of being stationary like that, and my great brain, upon which all my success has been built, would have turned to wax. Thank goodness we arrived in time. Indeed, in many ways, the pair of you just saved the world from an unimaginable loss. Oh, Hurley, you do like to talk nonsense, don't you? Oh my god. Iris, no. Don't roast your dad like this, Iris. Iris, please. He could know something. It's true. Or Lord Von Zeeks, and what happened in the past to change him. Now that you're here, let's take our time. How can I be of assistance? For your luck, I'm certainly quite taken with the idea of conversing. Oh, well, actually, I'm in quite a hurry. And if my eyes don't deceive me, I believe something is afoot within the walls of this very museum. A most fascinating case, if I'm not mistaken. Really? Moreover, I have a strong suspicion that is related to the matter about which you've come to me now. Wait, really? But how could it be? It seems like super random. You know, like this wax museum and like the stuff that we were doing earlier. Or could it... I'm thinking like, could it be that like they swap the bodies with like a wax figure and then send it flying? Maybe? But then like, wouldn't the coroners or like anyone just be like, this corpse is a wax body. What the fuck? You know, like wouldn't they just do that? Wait, but actually, hang on. Let me take a look at the victim, Odie Asman. Cause I thought like maybe the guy sitting next behind the what looks to be the guard might be him. Cause if we're running with that wax work theory, right? But it doesn't seem like it. We shall speak again presently, my dear fellow. But for now, I must return to my work. Your work? What? Back to being a temporary waxwork exhibit? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Shotomate kudasai. Hang on. Statues available, please inquire. So like, is that just the part-time job? Is that what's happening? Can I present to you this handy-dandy armband, good sir? Mr. Shrooms, about this. As you would see, I'm rather busy at the moment. If it's advice you seek, come to my office tomorrow and I shall be happy to help you. Shall we say... 3 pence per item as a consultation fee. That's 2 hours of gas, that is. Okay. Gotcha. You're not gonna. Okay, no worries. All right. Madame Tispels, why are you here? Or I guess like, what exactly is Madame Tispels? What is this place? Dots. Madame Tuspels came to came to London from France 3 years ago, I understand. Since she opened this little waxwork museum last year, it's enjoyed great popularity in London. There are museums like this in Japan too, but these displays are something else. I mean, they aren't made from actual real people, are they? The extreme realism of these waxwork models is a particular secret of the Tuspels family, they say. They are renowned during the French Revolution for waxworks of victims of the guillotine. Yeah, that sounds grim. The gruesome scenes were portrayed with such realism in the expressions of the faces of the condemned. Apparently, the sculptors would make the models directly from the corpses, right there at the site of the executions. That is morbid as hell. Okay. That really turns my stomach. That's just one of several legends about the Tuspel family. Whether there's any truth in it, I couldn't say. But anyway, this museum houses models of famous people from all over the globe. Nevertheless, the most popular area of the museum by quite some margin is this House of Horrors. House of Horrors? Of course. Visitor numbers are dwindling now as a result of the Great Exhibition. But people usually flock here to see the exhibits of some of London's most vile criminals at their gruesome work. Naturally, most of the miscreants portrayed here were sent to the gallows. They're even stiffer now than the models of them. Have you heard of Portes? My dear fellow, the public live for Portes. They yearn to be shocked. You're not wrong, but still. So, the hideous exhibits in here are... They all portray real events that actually took place. Is it just me, or did the temperature in here just seem to drop? Anyway, I advise you not to think too deeply about what you see here. Oh, he's back to being a waxwork, is he? It's just funny, he's always like like, and he's doing the, like, he's basically flexing, right? Like, dude. Them strong biceps, Stromes, and lats. What do you mean by a temporary waxwork, Mr. Stromes? Dots. Exactly what you say. I'm part of the exhibits here. Catching these criminals in the act. Catching them. Every half an hour, I home in on a different killer in one of the displays and adopt a new pose to ensnare them. How are you ensnaring what seems to be Jack the Ripper by flexing your bicep, sir? When members of the public come for a closer look, I offer them my hand to shake. For a shilling, I'll happily allow them to take a photograph of us. Us? Does he mean him and the waxwork murderers in here? Huh. That's not too bad. A shilling? Alright. But why, Mr. Stromes? Are you tight on cash or what? My dear fellow, isn't it obvious? For the money! He really roared at me there. Very fitting for the House of Horrors. As it stands, I may struggle to pay this month's rent. And I have the ravenous iris to consider. Stromes, no! No. Oh, Hurley, I'm so hungry. Oh my god! Oh no! Iris, no! Oh my god, okay. If push comes to shove, I shall have to ask you to do your bit, Mr. Naruhodo. What's he threatening to rope me into now? So, with that in mind, how about a photograph? As a special treat, you may have your pick of the murderers and scoundrels in here. The choice is yours. Maybe some other time. Remember, Mr. Naruhodo, ignore me at your peril. Back to being a waxwork again. Is it just me, or did his final remark there sound a lot like a curse? It sounded like a promise. You know, he's gonna sneak peppers into your bed at some point. Something to ask you. Can you tell us about Von Zieks, please? Dots. Well, what is it you'd like to ask me then? Actually, it's about Lord Von Zieks. Ah, our friend Mr. Reaper. How did you find him? Well, I trust. And so I filled Mr. Sholmes in about everything I'd learned. About Lord Von Zieks, about Professor Harebrayne, and about the strange coincidence they had been at university together. So I'm wondering what it was that happened to make Lord Von Zieks such a different person. I was sure that you know, Hurley. Dots. You said there was something going on here in this exhibit hall before. That something was afoot. And that you believe it was related to what I wanted to ask you about. Dot. Like, so is it? Like, what caused Lord Von Zieks to become how he is? Mr. Sholmes? He suddenly clammed up. Oh, Sir Sholmes. Well, it seems you reached the greetings. Are you men put to spells? Hello? You're a witch! Hello. Where did she appear from? And what's she wearing? Could you look any more mysterious? Yo, Red Eyes, yo. I hope you are appreciating my museum. Sorry, have we... Mr. Sholmes, do you know this? Not again! He went back. He's got to be on the job. My apologies. I'm Esmeralda to Spells. This is my museum of waxwork. Esmeralda, lovely. You're the Madame to Spells. Bien so? Bien so. Now only 26 years young, I might add. Is that significant somehow? I'm a madam, in name only. It adds a certain... je ne sais quoi. Just adds a little spice? Okay. Right. Firstly, I must apologize for my waxworks. Or rather, one waxwork in particular. Ah, Mr. Sholmes. She's not part of it. Okay. That'll be Mr. Sholmes then. I was led to believe he was a great detective, but he seems unable to settle. Oh! Oh my god, ma'am. Next time you move from your designated exhibit, there will be toil and trouble. Oh my god, Sholmes, no! Oh my god, that was actual wax. How's she holding that? Wasn't that hot? What the hell? Anyways, she sounds deadly serious. That's a problem. Cause we need to talk to Sholmes. We need to talk to we need to talk to him. How am I supposed to ask Mr. Sholmes about Lord Von Zieks now? Let's not forget what Hurley said before. About something being afoot. Right here in the museum. I mean, so we're gonna have to pay extra to see this special exhibit, right? Yes, I know, but I'm so curious. I want to know what's happening here. Haven't we got enough on our plate already? Well, let's converse with Madame Taspel. There we go. Oh, the wink! She's really cool. Okay, alright. The proprietress of the Madame Taspel's Museum of Waxwork and the latest in line of artisans privy to the secret Taspel's technique of capturing a perfect likeness. Lovely. The waxworks. Did you make all these waxworks, Madame Taspel? I did. I am the third generation of waxwork artisans, you know. Gosh! It was my grandmother who began the tradition in my family. Her fortunes were checkered, living through the turbulent times of the French Revolution as she did. Though that is when she acquired the savoir-faire? Savoir-faire, okay. Acquire the savoir-faire that leads to the astonishing lifelikeness. All these waxworks really do look as though they're alive. In fact, they look more alive than Hurley. What you see exhibited here represents the most atrocious of London's criminal past. All the waxworks were created in the presence of the real people on which they are modeled. In the hours immediately following their executions, that is the secret to the extraordinary lifelikeness. That sounds terrifying. All walks of life have similar challenges, I'm sure. To carry out one's trade par excellence, one must go to extraordinary lengths. Exactly, like what you did 6 months ago, Renosuke. You know? Through fair or foul play, you're gonna believe in your client and show the truth. My exhibits are a reflection of society. I create only that which the public wishes to see. Yeah. Why couldn't the public have wished for something less horrifying? Do not fear. Sorry? This room is the only one in the museum with such a macabre theme. I do hope you'll explore. There are models of famous singers, actors, politicians. Something for every taste, I hope. It was Iris who dragged me straight in here, coming to think of it. Sorry. Perhaps I should have eased you into things. Okay, so why is Sholmes here? What's the situation with that? Ah, my temporary waxwork model. He approached me some days ago, you see, with a business proposal. Oh, what sort of proposal? My dear madame, what these sparse exhibits need is the addition of a world-famous great detective. I see. Oh, what's to that effect? Naturally, I am well aware that Mr. Sholmes is widely known in London as a talented detective. It's great detective, actually. He's very specific about it. Yes. The creme de la creme. I was keen to come to some arrangement with him, of course. But sadly, we were unable to agree terms. Let me guess. Someone wanted to charge an exorbitant price for his services. Jones, no! Oh god! Oh. For a mere 500 pounds, I will dive into your cauldron of wax this very moment. Oh, what's to that effect? Mr. Jones might have overdone it slightly with the sales pitch. Regrettably, the museum has a shortage of funds at the moment due to unforeseen circumstances. So we came to the current agreement instead. Surely he doesn't really need to do what he's doing though, does he? I would think not, but he was very insistent. I have a 50 shilling problem that must be resolved by the morning. So you need to take 50 photographs? Oh, what's that to that effect? It's the pawnbroker. That's what it is. He must have something to redeem. Is the consulting detective work not going so well? Okay, so what is afoot here? I wonder. Could I ask you something? Bien sûr. I'm just curious. Is anything going on in the museum at the moment? Some kind of incident, perhaps? Dots. Whoever suggested such a thing to you? Oh, well, it was your temporary waxwork over there who mentioned it to me a little... He's gone. Oh! He's disappeared. Has it been 30 minutes already? Like, is he... on the side? A wax model is a work of art, not some tawdry object for trade. Ah! There you are! Leaving exhibits again when you should be working. Do you wish to be melted down? That does not look like wax, that just straight up looks like lava. How are you holding that? Ma'am. My dear Madame Thespels, save your reprimand. There are more pressing concerns. The wax can wait. It's our ideas about your current problem we must throw into the melting pot instead. Personally, I would advise you not to involve the police. Why ever not? She's turned as white as a sheet. Because you have at your disposal a great detective, whose services you may employ for a mere 50 shillings. Holmes, please. Though please be aware that I prefer... No, I insist upon payment in advance. Dots. Very well. Let us see if the great detective is able to live up to his name, shall we? Before I engage my analytical processes, I must ask you to clarify something. What, pray, is behind the curtain? That is the spell's special exhibit. There's an extra charge to see it. Ah, a special exhibit in the House of Horrors. It must depict a serial killer, then, I presume. Would you be so kind as to draw back the curtain, I wonder? Ah, absolutely not. There is nothing amiss behind that. I mean, the arm is literally down there, Madame Thespels. Nothing amiss, madam. What about the arm protruding ominously from under the curtain? Ah! I strongly encourage you to allow me to see what lies beyond, before the situation worsens. Yes, very well. I will draw back the curtains, but only a... Soupcon? All this French. Soupcon? Soupçon. A small quantity. But only a soupçon. Soupçon? Yeah. Soupçon, y'all. Anyways. That's a grave? I must confess. I peeked behind the curtain earlier. The Dispel's special exhibit is a very bleak graveyard scene indeed. And yet, somewhat surprisingly, the waxwork killer one would expect is nowhere to be seen. But what about the arm? What does strike one, however? Is the portly gentleman lying peacefully on his back on the floor. What happened here? So that's an actual person? Well then perhaps, Mr. Sholmes, that man on the floor is the ruthless killer himself. I'm afraid not, my dear fellow. He's a perfectly ordinary London gentleman. Not even a waxwork, in fact. What? As skillfully made as these waxworks are, they're always distinguishable from real humans. So, allow me to present my two conclusions. The first is that a sizable business transaction has been taking place in this special exhibit. Why would you say that? And the second is that the aforementioned transaction is linked to a serious crime. Huh! She looks to spill its candle wax, so that's true? I don't understand. So, Madame Tispels, as you've agreed to my fee, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. Let's go! The dance of deduction. The great deduction. The game is afoot. Let's go! So what's happening here? Waxworks fate. To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in this museum. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. Are they actually banknotes? In my estimation, some 200 pounds. That's all my own money! So what does this large sum of money reveal? Look at the eyes. Where is she looking at? Ah. Not as much as the involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madame Tispels. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by the public notice. I assume it's the gravestone, right? Waxwork for sale. Your business has hit hard times, it would seem. She did say that. You know, there was a situation going on with that. In short, you sold the infamous killer, the centerpiece of your special exhibit, for the sum of 200 pounds. None! Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we have presented. The guy? Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? Dots. It would appear the man had suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Ah. Unfortunately, madame, Keeping secrets does not appear to be a forte. She's hiding something behind her cloak, isn't she? What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the 200 pounds! God. It would appear that you twisted this gentleman around your little finger most effectively. What are you suggesting? Hang on. Hold on. This hand here does not match the hand here, right? And also, even if like you argue like, oh, maybe one hand's tan, like this is a pinky. This is not a thumb, right? The only way like this, and this is like the top of the hand. The only way this would work if it was palms up. So this is like, she's hiding a wax arm behind her. He rashly agreed to purchase the waxwork for the sum of 200 pounds. Only when he came to hand the money over did it occur to him what an extortionate amount he was paying. But the money was no longer in his hands. And the result, the scene we see before us. He collapsed in shock. I like how he's clearly screwing with us. Right, because like it's always so close to the mark, but it misses the mark, but so close to it. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit fetched a killer price. We can only pray that the gentleman's dreams are not plagued with regret. Do it for cash. Oh. Waxwork location. The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let us consider the problem for a moment. You cannot possibly. What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only to observe his neckerchief. I assume it's that or his mustache. Maybe. Such as is worn by policemen as a secret sign to follow members of the force that a crime is being perpetrated. Okay, statues. Okay, I guess she was selling statues. Anyways, yes. This young man is an undercover officer, currently investigating this museum. I know him well, in fact. It's Sergeant John Clay. Is he? What are you talking about? The man's quite a celebrity. He received 3 triple accolades at last year's policing awards. But look at it, she's still hiding the arm. Next, we turn our attention to the old man set before him with a particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely, and he hasn't moved a muscle. Almost, in fact, as if he were waxwork. Also, I'm noticing this tag here, and this guy's a corpse, isn't he? Like, he was brought out from the morgue or something, right? Like, this is very specifically like a morgue tag, right? But you... Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madame. I notice it at once, of course. Observe! The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man, is a waxwork. Is obviously the obvious price tag. I mean, it does say 3 pence, but wait, it might not. It does say 3p, but it might be the scarf instead of. So is he alive? Is he not alive? Dead? 3 pence. A tragically low price, you might say. Then perhaps the going rate for aging waxworks riddled with cracks. Handing the soda to the portly gentleman for an exorbitant 200 pounds. She just looks so confused, like, what are you on about? This sort of plucky behavior that's sure to attract the attention of Scotland Yard. Isn't that so, madame? I do not. Yes. The waxwork you sold has already been seized by the police and remains in their custody as we speak, but Sir, you already said to not involve the police, so why would the police already have been involved? What? Sir? Hello, good sir? The old man must be reunited with his grave in a special exhibit, and not a moment too soon. So, let's fix this. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. I know he's screwing with us, he has to be, but come on, man. Bruh. Dots. Dots. she's rating the wax already. I see I've stunned you all into silence. You have, Hurley. You have. And you've obviously upset this young lady in the process. Her cauldron looks awfully hot. If I could just bring up 1 point, Mr. Sholmes. Ah! The notorious narrowhead of 1 point. I'm all ears, my dear fellow. According to your deduction then, the special exhibit featured this old policeman. So that would mean that he's the particularly ruthless murderer, wouldn't it? Dots. The killer policeman, Automole. Sorry? It was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year. The police rushed to the scene every time only to find the culprit had disappeared into the ether. And it turned out the culprit was a policeman himself, a senior officer by the name of Automole. So you mean that's who the sinister looking old man there is supposed to be? Indeed. It was a particularly grim face, is it not? Unforgettable, in fact. Yes, I remember that odious consonance only too well. But is 200 pounds a lot of money for a wax model? It would be enough to afford one of the latest steam carriages. That puts things into perspective. So, it is quite a lot then. Is there anything else you wish to add? Before I melt you down. That bubbling wax is looking more and more ominous. The smell of all that molten wax is starting to worry me. Mr. Sholmes did more or less just accuse her to her face, so I think I might have to call in your assistance here, Iris, if that's alright. To make some minor corrections to the great detective's great deductions. Of course it's alright. We'll soon set things straight. Well, let's get started then, shall we? Before Madame Tispels vents her anger. Just what I was waiting to hear, my dear fellow. So, Madame Tispels, in accordance with our agreement, you should now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. Like, he is training us, right? Because we, like, Iris did say that we are basically his disciple. So what exactly is afoot? What is large enough money reveal? Okay. She's definitely looking at the gravestone, right? She definitely looked in this direction, it's true. but I'm not so sure she'd sell any of her waxworks, even for 200 pounds. Oh? She must pour her heart and soul into making them, don't you think? Over and above the wax. If it were me, I wouldn't sell them for anything. Dots. For that much money, I would. But it sounds like that makes me a bad person. Well, anyway. I wonder if the 200 pounds can have some other significance. Let's follow that furtive glance again and see if there's anything else that could explain it. Oh. Love that. Let's take a look at this note. What's that note doing pinned on the wall there? Oh yes, let's see. Dear Madam Tispels, we've taken the prisoner from this room. The price for his safe return is 200 pounds. Ah. Have the money ready by noon on 23rd October, so tomorrow. What? It got stolen. It's like the sort of thing that's left behind when someone is kidnapped. Yes, it's a ransom note. Exactly. Present. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that ransom note. Quite so. And we must congratulate these criminals on their inventiveness. Abducting a waxwork. 200 pounds is no small ransom fee. Yet you clearly intend to pay it. The model in question has special importance, so I put together all the money I have. In summary then, the 200 pounds you have in your handbag is ransom money. Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? Dots. It appears the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Unfortunately, madame, keeping secrets is not... Okay, what doubt the man such a shocking blow was, of course. The 200 pounds! No. So the waxwork was kidnapped. Where does that leave us in terms of who this man is? Would he... I mean, he's probably like... I mean, she's preparing the money for tomorrow, because today's the 22nd, so it's not the ransomers, right? Which means that it's either one of her staff, or like a banker, or something. We could just ask him when he comes around. I think the point of this exercise is to understand the beauty of the deduction process, Iris. Yes, you're right. Helly's trying so hard. We mustn't let him down. Well, there's little doubt that he suffered a shock. That much seems clear. But in that case, what's Madame Tispels trying to hide? Let's have a closer look around. Ah, her hair. Madame Tispels has very long hair, doesn't she? Yes, but he couldn't tell looking at her from the front. You know, it looks rather like a whip. Don't you think? Runosuke, sir. The sort of whip that could have floored the gentleman with a single crack. That seems a little far-fetched, even for you, Runo. It's definitely the hand, right? This is just Madame Tispel's right hand, isn't it? Yes, it must be. I can clearly see her left hand after all. Oh, but wait a minute. This is a left hand as well. Look, see, exactly, that's what I said. Look at that. Right? Pinky, thumbs. Like, I love the fact that, like, it is modeled enough, like, from the interaction that she is hiding the arm. Like, if you do pay attention, you know? Don't say such creepy things, Iris, please. And it seems very stiff, too. In fact, it's really hard. You mean, it's made of wax? So it has to be this. She smacked the guy, didn't she? I mean, like, she might have thought that he was, like the ransomer coming back, right? Maybe? What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the waxwork hand. Indeed, with a solid waxwork limb, one could deliver a very substantial blow. How could you? The hand protruding from the bottom of your cape. It ought to be a right hand. Closer inspection reveals that, in fact, it's a left hand. And somewhat masculine as well. In other words, it does not belong to you, madam. It is the hand of a waxwork model. Yeah. Oh shit. Some of the visitors in my museum can be troublesome. Who's this from? Goddamn. They meddle with the exhibits and cause damage. So you mean that arm? Yes. This gentleman saw fit to try to remove it as a souvenir. Ah. No small keepsake. Like taking a whole branch of a cherry tree when you go to view the blossoms. A little bit topical, but anyways. I'm afraid I had to teach the man a lesson. You confronted the man and tried to take the arm back. And the results? The scene we see before us was knocked unconscious. A point we need to revisit later. But for the time being, we have our conclusion. Yes, the killer in the special exhibit has been kidnapped. Let's go. That's where that changed hands. The question that arises, then, is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let us consider that problem for a moment. You cannot possibly... Wait a minute, okay. I'm gonna think it's the arm, right? Maybe? Like, cause we haven't... Wait, no, we kind of saw it from the side. We didn't, like, when we were looking at Madame Dispels. Anyways, we're gonna get a closer look anyways. According to Mr. Sholmes, the yellow neckerchief is a sign to other policemen that some crime is underway. A way of communicating with his colleagues without revealing his identity, yes. As a secret that's closely guarded by Scotland Yard. That Mr. Sholmes didn't hesitate to give away, yep. Well, uncovering secrets is in any true detective's nature, of course. Right. Anyway, judging from Madame Dispel's reaction to Mr. Sholmes' deduction, I think perhaps we might not have identified the man quite correctly. Oh wait, yeah, I was right. So okay, because we didn't properly see it. So he's not real. What the? The man has a stub sticking out of his shoulder where his arm should be. Ah, well, that settles that then. Right, this isn't a real person at all. His entire arm's been ripped off from the shoulder down. His arm's been... Of course, that ties in with what we just found out. But man, that means that that portly gentleman was just super strong to rip it out, right? Like, especially like with the fabrics and everything.
Take that!
Who is this fellow? To find the answer, you need only observe his shoulder stub. No such boneless human walks this earth. Of that I can assure you. In other words, the man standing here, the young Sergeant John Clay, is in fact, defying all odds, a waxwork model. I seem to remember it was you who concluded he was a real person in the first place, Mr. Sholmes. He has become quite a celebrity in London. being the winner of no less than 3 policing awards last year. I simply had to make a model of the man. Naturally. What other explanation could there be? But no wax model of Mr. Sherlock Sholmes, huh? And it was this detective's arm that was pulled off by the man on the floor in the special exhibit, wasn't it? Next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him with a particularly unsightly visage. I'm watching closely. But I mean, that's definitely, I thought it was a course, but that should be the price tag for the scarf, right? A killer policeman called Ottermo, was it? Was he well known? It was all over the papers last year, but I can't say I know what he looks like. It's a very low price though. 3 pence isn't much money. Only enough for a few measly hours of gas in Mr. Garadep's delightful lodgings, in fact. So this is the special killer taken from the special exhibit, is it? The waxwork that somebody stole from the museum and tried to ransom for 200 pounds, but why leave it at the museum? Is this crusty old killer policeman Ottermo? Really? Perhaps you should have a good look around again and see if another idea crops up. He's a lot. See, I knew it. He's a lot. So I figured he's just a guard, but this threw me off, you know? This threw me off because I thought it was like a morgue thing. Look at this! The old man's tapping his foot like crazy. He seems to be fast asleep though. He could be lying. He's not tapping his foot cautiously then. So you mean it must be a twitch. Never mind that. The point is, waxwork don't tap your feet, so he's alive. Or twitch! And look at his arms, too. We've seen a scarf like that somewhere else around here, haven't we? I don't believe it. Like, isn't it the same scarf on, Isn't it the same scarf on, like, the John Clay model? It's a secret sign that lets other detectives know some criminal activities underway. Yes. It's a slightly strange choice of outfit if it was trying to go unnoticed. Oh, he must be a detective disguised as a policeman. Or a detective disguised as a waxwork model of a policeman. He doesn't look like he's clever enough to think of something like that, though. Perhaps you try to be a little more polite about him, Iris. But this. The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious twitch. Even the most realistic waxworks do not exhibit a twitch. In other words, the splendid old man is, in fact, a genuine member of Scotland Yard. Slight shift in your choice of adjectives, then. And there you have it. Well, Madam Tispels? Well, what? It was me who contacted the police and demanded that someone come in the first place. He is clearly fatigued. He is sound asleep. But then, what's this tag about showing a price of 3 pence? No doubt the price tag of the muffler, which the old Bobby purchased recently at a local market. And I presume you've observed the scarf tied around his arm. Does that not strike you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, the secret sign used by detectives to show that some criminal activity is currently underway. Of course, because, as you know, there has been just such criminal activity happening here. As you deduced from the very beginning, Detective. So, it would seem that we finally arrive at the truth. The waxwork of the especially ruthless killer from this special exhibit has been kidnapped. And Scotland Yard are already investigating. But the model's whereabouts remain a mystery. Thus concludes Sherlock Sholmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. Let's go! But where could it be? Let's go! Elementary! All sorts of people visit my museum here. Men and women, young and old. Sometimes they drop in just for a short time on their way back from the pub. I welcome them all. But if anyone tries to damage my exhibits, I do not take it lightly. Anyway. Oh, look at that. That smile. Your great deduction was even more enchanting than I had been led to believe. Aww. It was a pleasure, my dear madame. I'm gratified that you enjoyed the spectacle. And as for your rough customer, I've no doubt he'll regain consciousness shortly and return home. What concerns me more is the waxwork from the special display, if it was indeed genuinely abducted. Dots. Yes, tragically, it was. Then I will ask you to recount to us the events surrounding the stolen waxwork. In as much detail as possible, if you please. Very well. But after I've told you what I know, I must insist that you return to your work. Dots, okay. Sholmes. The talent of a great detective could be put to better use, I feel, but as you wish. Alright, so tell us about the Solinar. What's happening here? Tell us more about the stolen waxwork, please. It was some days ago now, when I came in here one morning. I immediately noticed that a waxwork was missing from the special exhibits here. It was your most prominent display. So, that's why the curtains were closed. And I found the ransom note in its place. Oh, wait, like... So, was it not supposed to be in the graveyard? It's just meant to be, like, here? Okay. The culprit must have broken in during the night and taken it then. So this waxwork that was stolen, it was a model of some horrible criminal, I suppose. Dots. Of a particularly horrible criminal, in fact. The killer who left a more profound scar on society than any other, I would say. The Professor. Oh? Moriarty? Not a name I've heard of. So, Mr. Naruhodo, it seems the circle is complete. Wait, this is the reason why Von Zeeks is like so depressed and angsty now? Sorry. The Professor case happened at around the time I was born, didn't it? Like 10 years ago? 10 years ago? Indeed it did, Iris. 10 years ago, a series of murders that rocked the capital. 10 years ago? Yes, at exactly the time that Baroque von Zeeks graduated from university. In fact, when he was 23. Von Zeeks! What? Surely he's not saying... So the big event that changed Mr. Reaper's life? Dots. As you've surmised, it was the professor case. So who was this professor then? It was a series of gruesome murders that had all of London gripped in a terror a decade ago. After 5 victims were killed, the man was arrested and put to death. And now he's immortalized here in wax for all Londoners to admire and enjoy. Though, of course, he happens to be absent at present, on account of the abduction. But I don't understand. How is all this related to Lord Von Zeeks? Dots. You must first understand, my dear fellow, why it is that the professor earned such infamy. It was due to the victims he chose. Some of Whitehall's finest, like nobles? What do you mean, Hurley? Those murdered by the professors were some of the highest members of British aristocracy. Oh shit. Members of the nobility, even royalty. It sent shockwaves through the country's administration, and Von Zeeks is part of the nobility too. Members of the... wait, of course! What Professor Harebrayne said. Lord Von Zeeks is from a family of noble blood. Oh gosh. It was the 5th victim that led to the professor's arrest. The last of the killer's prey was a young noble by the name of Clint Von... Big bro? Clint Von Zeeks. No! I don't believe it! Von Zeeks! The turn. I'm sure you can piece together the rest for yourself. In the wake of his older brother's murder, the young Baroque pursued a career as a prosecutor, and eventually became the Reaper we know today. Dots. I had no idea Lord Von Zeeks had such a tragic past. Well, I'm afraid that's all I can say on the matter, for the time being at least. After all, I have work to do. As a waxwork exhibit. Man, like Von Zeeks' theme being played, like goddamn. I'm afraid I shall have to excuse myself as well. Oh yes, of course, it's been a pleasure. Thank you. Bum, 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 bum. Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involve you coming to visit me here. Oh? Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you coming to visit me here. It's Harebrayne! It's Von Zeeks! Oh my god! Oh my god! He uses Baroque! He's calling him by his name! Oh my god, besties! It's been too long, it really has. I'm delighted to see you, Baroque. It's been 10 years, and here we are, meeting in the prison of all places. I can't forgive myself for what happened to Mr. Assman. I just can't. I still can't believe it could happen. Nuts. Tomorrow, the court will decide. Yes! I have a young Eastern man acting for my defense. He seems reliable enough, though. It was an accident. A terrible accident. He assures me he can prove it. I must warn you. Oh, I know. I've heard already. You're going to be prosecuting, aren't you? Yes. Dots. Since I returned to England, I've had lots of stories. Baroque, are you really? What? Dance. Never mind. I know you have my best interests at heart. Oh my god, you're such good friends. What the heck? What the hell? Oh my god. I feel like this is the first person that like Baroque has met in the past 10 years that's just like a genuine like friend to him. What the hell? Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh! Baroque Bonziques, you... Sir! Oh my god. He's so... Man, he's so open with Albert. What the hell? That's so cute. What the fuck? My friend is on trial. I wouldn't entrust it to anybody else. Of course, I fully understand. Thank you, Baroque. Until tomorrow then, I'll see you in court. My god, what the fuck? That's the friendliest we've ever seen him. Like, he's so like reluctant, but he's like, buddy, I will not let my bestie face trial alone. Like, my god. Yes, let's save. But man, yeah, we wouldn't have like been able to properly finish. Like that was like an hour and a half of things. But anyways, let's do as much of the trial as we can. 23rd October, 8:52 a.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. I can't believe it's been 6 months since I was last allowed to work in court. Okay, before we continue, I'm gonna take a very quick break. I'll be right back, so please enjoy the antechamber music. And I'm back. Let's continue. And now here I am, back at the Old Bailey. Albert, it's okay. Mr. Naruhodo. Good morning, Professor Harebrayne. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. The atmospheric pressure in here is off the charts. I never felt anything like it. It's crushing me. I think you're just hella nervous. You're in trial for murder, dude. I feel it every time I'm here. That gravity. Well, this is Britain's highest court. But are you telling me it's fitted with some kind of device that can actually control air pressure? Dot. I think it's probably all in the mind. Ah, yes. Well, you won't let me down, will you, Mr. Naruhodo? I'm counting on you in today's trial to save my life. To save the secret of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine from being made public. Yes, I understand. I know what I have to do. I have to establish that the explosion 2 days ago was nothing more than an unfortunate accident. Well, I'm sure there's nothing to worry about, really. Justice will prevail. My commiserations, Mr. Naruhodo. You appear to have been lumbered with a most tiresome case here. It is Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes, I didn't expect to see you here. Yeah, I thought you'd be sleeping in. I was very mean, Bruno. Leaving me alone at home early. We needed to get here, Iris. It took me at least an hour to wake him. Are you Sherlock Sholmes? Indeed, sir. I am he. Sherlock Sholmes. God damn it, Sherlock. I've heard all about your exploits, even though I was living in Germany. Ah, yes. Brand's magazine is on sale in Germany, too. This month's installment was sublime. Your deduction and the adventure of Silver Blaze was wonderful. Ah, yes. A memorable case indeed. It concerned a snake, I seem to recall. No, there is no snake. No, that was the speckled band. Well, thank you for coming. I do appreciate your support. I'm sorry to disappoint you, my dear fellow, but I'm afraid I can't stay. Oh. I've urgent business at Madame Dispel's. You mean your waxwork job? No, the waxwork abduction, of course. Madame has engaged my services. Ah, so you're trying to get to the bottom of that ransom note, are you? The week's wages depend on it, as does the safe return of the waxwork, naturally. As such, I intend to give it my undivided attention. Oh, well, never mind then. I understand. Of course. With my skills of observation and reasoning, resolving the matter will be easy as proverbial pie. I shall return forthwith. I'm sure you will if you plan on not screwing around. But until I solve the case, I shall have no money to afford a pie of any description. Ooh, then you must absolutely give it your full attention, Hurley. Quite, Iris, quite. But life is riddled with irony, you know? Whenever I give something my full attention, I have a quite insatiable desire for a pie. Sholmes, sir? One of the universe's intractable mysteries, you might say. Oh yes, quite, definitely, absolutely. I totally understand. Do you, Harebrayne? Are you sure? Is someone a little starstruck? I wish you the very best of luck, Professor Harebrayne. Oh, why, thank you. Before I depart, Mr. Naruto, a word in your ear, if you please. What's this about? As you have remarkably little grounding in science, I feel I ought to inform you. As compelling as the super high voltage instantaneous kinesis hypothesis may be, a practical implementation, such as was attempted by the professor at the Great Exhibition, is quite impossible. But the professor said the demonstration was a success. I mean, like, the body did move, but I'm pretty sure it was due to the explosion. Yes, it would appear that he fervently believes it was. I've read Professor Bunnybrain's paper about it too, Bruno, and I have to say, I'm sure it can't be done. It could barely be done theoretically, let alone practically. Like, it's a thing of like, the math is right, but the technology available can't do that. So he's completely barking up the wrong tree. But how can an experiment that had no possibility of succeeding in fact succeed? It's contradictory. And it's that contradiction that'll be at the heart of the trial, I've no doubt. What's that supposed to mean? I mean, right? Like, how did it make it that far? And we also need to figure out what exactly this is. Now, I must hurry along. I wish you the best of luck, my dear fellow. See you later, Harley. Mr. Sholmes. Well, it looks like you're on. Well, it looks like you're on your own today, Bruno. But cheer up, but chin up. You can do it. Oh, what about you, Iris? Ah, no. I'm afraid I can't help. I have something I need to do. Oh, wait, so we don't have an assistant this time? I see. It's gonna be a big surprise for you when you find out what. Oh, wait, she's making the clothes, isn't she? Yeah, she's making the clothes. Lovely. Let's carry on. That sounds ominous. Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court is about to be in session. Make your way into the courtroom at once. We're on our way. Time to go. Time to figure out what exactly is happening. An experiment that laws of science say can't possibly succeed. And a scientist is convinced that it did. That's the riddle we have to unlock here, Rinosuke. That's the key to the case. 23rd October, 9:10 a.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. Oh, yo, that's a completely new jury. And the juror on the most right side looks kind of familiar. It was as if we'd seen him the day before. Anyways. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are sitting here today for the public trial of Professor Albert Harebrayne. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready, my lord. Dot. I'm 6 months out of practice, and what's more, I'm all alone. Oh, I'm about to start a son today. Dots. Is it just my imagination? Or does the air in here feel even more oppressive than usual? So, I must say I recollect the victim of this case all too well. Mr. O.D. Assman. Mr. Assman was known as a financier. That was merely a front for his diverse criminal activities. It was only a month ago that the man appeared in court prosecuted by you, Lord Von Zeeks. But the jury unanimously found him not guilty, because every member of the jury had been bribed by the sound of it. These powerful London criminals were prepared to go to extreme lengths to keep their freedom. But 2 days ago, on 21st October, Mr. Assman met his end. The work of the Reaper, was it? Dots. If that is how your lordship would describe divine retribution. But the fact remains that Mr. Assman's death was a direct result of the actions of the accused, Professor Harebrayne. Very well then. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you have been selected at random to represent the will of the people. Are the 6 of you ready to fulfill your societal duty? I'm most gratified to have been selected to carry out this important civic duty, my lord. I mean, I guess that's the voice I'm going with him. Like, he seems like a top-notch gentleman right here. Oh? To have a man's fate in the palm of one's hand. Oh gosh, oh golly. It sends shivers down the spine. Okay, her design is really interesting. She looks to be of the upper class as well. You look like a magician. I see. There we go. He's a vampire count like bat theme magician. Okay. Science experiments, magic, conjuring tricks, courtroom trials. All are nothing but performances. A scientist, okay. Any spurious scholar that defiles the reputation of science deserves to hang. I feel like you're not exactly the most neutral of jurors. We have to listen to what's said on both sides of the fence, and then settle on one. That's it, isn't it? Is that a child? Or is she just like a really young-looking adult? What's happening here? Yeah, that's the guy from yesterday. Dots. Oh sir? Put your gun down. You're next to a child. Wasn't like this in my day. Wasn't like this at all. Dots. That's the police killer Ottoman lookalike. Ottoman lookalike. Again. And he's as exhausted as ever, it seems. Now, as I'm sure you're all aware, the incident we are here to judge today tragically took place at a great exhibition shortly after its opening. Though the death toll could have been far worse, with the exception of the victim, no one was killed. Nevertheless, the dream of the science being exhibited rapidly turned into a nightmare for the spectators. A tragic turn of events, and as such, the eyes of all London, no, of the whole world, will be on this trial. It is our duty to reach a swift and just conclusion, I feel. So, Your opening statement, please, Lord Von Zieks. At the heart of this incident is technology never before demonstrated anywhere in the world. One of science's latest developments, I take it. The government is keen to capitalize on the Great Exhibition to improve Britain's technological advantage. The technology being demonstrated by the accused was described as super high voltage, instantaneous kinesis. Good lord! It's designed to disassemble human subjects using extremely high voltage electricity and beam them instantly to another location where they are subsequently reassembled. Is such a thing even within the realms of possibility? Well, I don't believe it, that's for sure. Disassembling people with electricity. My goodness, how shocking. I know, right? It's almost as if like it's not really that grounded in reality. Huh. The whole idea is absurd. The hypothesis would never stand up to scrutiny. Sir, I believe you are a fellow of the Royal Society, are you not? An expert in your field. He looks like a chemist. I am, and my word on the matter can be considered final. Instantaneous kinesis is poppycocked. So this expert and Mr. Shrooms are in agreement. It's impossible. What is the prosecution's view on the matter? Dots. The prosecution would assert that the accused's instantaneous kinesis demonstration was a success. What? What rot? It certainly disassembled him and reassembled it. Order! Order! The professor's hypothesis is currently under investigation by the British government. If it is deemed to have merit, a substantial research grant will be made available. The accused made use of the invention built on his new hypothesis to take Mr. Assman's life, in order to be the sole benefactor of the grant. But... This disastrous demonstration was no accident. It was carefully designed from the outset to end the life of the victim. But that's your friend! That's your homie, Baroque! Sir! Thank you, Lord Von Zieks. The prosecution's stance is clear. But you will now bring forth witnesses to substantiate your claims. Gladly, my lord. Let's go. Bailiff, show the first witnesses to the stand. Sir, Albert. Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court. Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard's Homicide Division. I was on duty at the demonstration on the day in question, and in charge of the following investigation. Dots. Oh, sir? Albert Harebrayne, scientist! You were born in England, but have been carrying out research in Germany in recent years, correct? Yes, that's right. After graduating from university in Britain, I went to work in Germany. I made an amazing discovery, which is what brought me back. I had to demonstrate my incredible hypothesis at the Great Exhibition. What you demonstrated was incredible, right? An incredible explosion. But the science was a success. The instantaneous kinesis worked. Everyone saw it. They must have done. Yes, there was a terrible accident, but the demonstration of my hypothesis was a success. Well, that much is undeniable, as shown in this photograph taken by the forensics investigation team. Oh? Okay, so he was literally just flowing through along with everything, but then like the wound here though. Right? With the blood splatter, that means like it entered in from the front. Like that. But it seems like it was moved and then stabbed, right? This was taken inside the Crystal Tower, I take it. The centerpiece of the exhibition, no less. That's right, my lord. Seems the victim rammed straight into it. I see. Very well. Submit the photograph as evidence. Let's see, a photographic print of the victim taken after he had ostensibly been beamed to the Crystal Tower. It shows an apparent stab wound to the chest. It's not the glass, right? As the court heard, the victim of the incident was Mr. Odie Assman. Hang on, wait. There have been a number of allegations made against the man, but putting them aside for the time being, it was a man who financed the research for the experiment and the demonstration itself. I see. So to summarize the situation, the defendant is accused of taking the life of the man who funded his work. Would that be correct? Exactly. But couldn't it be that the explosion was caused by some malfunction in the apparatus used for the demonstration? That's right, that must be it! My splendid machine! My poor, splendid machine! You saw it yesterday, didn't you? We can't even examine the wreckage thanks to the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act, so you don't know if it actually was faulty. What? The wreckage! The wreckage! But that being the case, how can the facts be established? How can it possibly determine whether this was an accident or a deliberate and malicious act? Extremely simple, my lord. I beg your pardon? Isn't that right, witness? What? Sorry, me? No, your neighbor. Yes, sir. It was murder, plain and simple. Anyone could state that with complete certainty. What? How could he possibly think that? Thank you, Inspector. I think we had better proceed to formal testimony. You explain to the court on what grounds you claim this experiment to have been a front for murder. Alright, let's figure it out. The corpse that went crashing through the Crystal Tower had a broken neck. I made a minor miscalculation in the angle of the beam projection, that's all. That was my mistake. When a post-mortem examination revealed another injury, a fatal wound. There was a lesion in his chest where he'd clearly been stabbed by something sharp right in the heart. So the victim was killed before he went anywhere. And this fella's the only one who could have done... Can you prove that he died before the crash? Dude, it was facing everyone, right? So, wouldn't it be, super clear that if he just straight up stabbed him? The Reaper attacked. We're just gonna read this again. The kingpins of the criminal underworld greatly... Is the kingpins of the criminal underworld generally managing to escape conviction in Reaper's trials? And this isn't the first time your henchmen have tried to attack Lord Von Zieks as a result, by the sound of it. It makes you think, if that's how the justice system works in London, then there must be dark forces at work. That's a very short testimony. Okay. Dots. An extraordinary business. In addition to suffering a broken neck, the victim was stabbed in the heart. Information I would really have liked to have heard from someone other than the judge. The coroner said death would have been all but instant from a wound like that. You could say, in fact, that the victim was killed twice by the accused. Oh my... Ari, hello! Thank you so much for the raid! Let me give you a little shouty shout out. My raiders, welcome! My name is Rito Toya. You can call me Toya. I am a snow patroller and also the leader. Sorry. I am a snow alien from the planet Rito and also the leader of the snow patrol, where we go around looking for not so chill vibes and make them chill again. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's Metaphor, Ari? Pray, forgive the discourtesy of raiding your channel. always a joy to see you around here, Ari. I finally defeated Zorba and the human. Yes, let's go! Was he adorable? I mean, what? So you killed Zorba, and the little necromancer only took 20 hours of gameplay. It's okay. You did it though. You did it. But yeah, if you need to rest and decompress after your stream, please do, Ari. If you need to get some water, get some snackos and other things, please do. No. That couldn't be further from the truth. I have here the experiment plan document that was submitted to the security team. Okay, can we read it? The victim stood himself inside something called the birdcage, ready to be beamed instantly. To the second level of the Crystal Tower, about 25 yards away. The experiment did not go according to plan, however. Gonna sit back into Mario Zeeks now. Look at this man. Oh, went up. As the machine was put into operation, there was a large explosion. The blast caused the beam transmitter to point higher than intended. Accordingly, the kinesis resulted in the birdcage materializing in mid-air. Are we? No, but Chome's already told us. Chome's already told us that, like, the science is not feasible right now. Command subsequently fell, crashing through the glass of the Crystal Tower's large round window. My word. One assumes the victim's neck was broken upon impact with the tower then. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen. The machine was just too powerful. But honestly, really, I swear, it was just an accident, a terrible accident. He's beautiful, isn't he? Unfortunately, that excuse can't save you. No. Not considering the sharp murder weapon that pierced the victim's heart. Murder weapon? What are you saying? Can we get the plan? This is the autopsy report submitted by the coroner. The prosecution would like it entered into the court record. Your request is granted, counsel. The autopsy report of the victim, Mr. Asman, his neck was broken from the impact of a violent fall and he was stabbed in the chest with a sharp object. Was it the screwdriver that we found but couldn't take with us? I was there in person, you know. I saw the whole ludicrous performance. Courtney Sif, Odie Asman, male, 47 British, around 2:20 p.m. Okay. Hemorrhage of a wound to the chest that pierced the heart inflicted by a sharp implement. A broken vertebra was likely resulting from impact after a sudden fall from considerable height. Alright. The only other person on the stage with Mr. Asman was that disgraceful excuse for scientists. And really, by all accounts, it must have been him. Hard to think otherwise, really. Very well. Counsel for the defense. Proceed with the cross-examination, please. Oh, yes, my lord. I need to focus here. It's been a while. Let's go. Hold it! We'll press on everything. Are you suggesting that's because he fell from a considerable height? Exactly. We should highlight something else about this whole rum business. What's that? The fact that the instantaneous kinesis itself was a success. After the explosion, the cage with the fellow inside suddenly appeared out of nowhere in mid-air. So although the experiment ended in disaster, the so-called instantaneous kinesis did actually occur. Remind us, Professor. What was the cause of the fatal disaster? Okay, let's figure this one out. So the angle of the projection is critical, isn't it? And you calculated it yourself, personally. Absolutely. The calculation is far too complicated for anyone but me to carry out, but you made a mistake, though. Only, you got it wrong, didn't you? Yes, that's right. That's the point. The calculation is so complicated, even I can make a mistake. That's not helping you here, Albert. Do people fall for that brazen confidence? I should try it. I took into account the subject's height and weight, the wind direction, the ambient temperature. I considered every possible variable, so I just don't understand how this could have happened. Obviously then, you had to include the weight of the clothes Mr. Asmund is wearing at the time. That's true, like, because it's like, what was it? It was height, weight, ambient temperature, everything, right? From the subject itself. So, like, was there added weight that was causing it to go haywire, or what? Ah. Crackling comments! The answer should have been 3! So much for safety first. The 3 must be for safety third. Hold it! Let's look into this. Another fatal injury, you say? That doesn't make any sense. I don't think I have to spell this out, but here we go. Just because there were 2 fatal wounds doesn't mean I'm saying the victim had 2 lives to lose, does it? Too right. Obviously at first, we thought the bloke had died due to his spine snapping in half as well. But you're saying that's not the case. You guys answer once I finish my fish and chips. We don't keep butting in every few seconds. But we all know that's a bottomless bag. Exactly, like how do you keep getting all of them, and how did it keep staying crispy? The victim plummeted 30 feet into a glass tower. It would be reasonable to assume that as the cause of death. Right. That's what we all thought, but it was a red herring, wasn't it? The defense knew nothing of this crucial information. The prosecution received this report from the forensic investigation team only this morning. That was the first we knew of it as well. I can only apologize for the impossibility of informing the defense. Damn, okay. Alright. Sarcastic and insincere. Thanks. So, what's the nature of this sharp object? Among the accused tools that were in use at the demonstration, one is of particular interest. The screwdriver. This. Ah, yes. That would appear to be some kind of screwdriver console. Haha! There he is! Albert? What's up? My trusty little companion, Andrew! What? Andrew. Andrew, of course. Shouldn't it be Anscrew? Ah, do you know each other already? He's one of my dear friends, like all my tools. Albert, please. I I've named them all, you know, we're one big happy family. So your family's just a bunch of tools? Dots. Andrew's my flathead screwdriver, of course. His brother Michael is a crosshead. Ah. It would appear that your beloved Andrew has a red stain on his cheek. That isn't... That's blood. Beyond all reasonable doubt. No! And that's not all. The long sharp end of this Andrew fellow is completely consistent with the victim's wound. What? Can we get that screwdriver entered? He named the screwdriver. He named all of them, apparently. Hold up. The code entered this friend of the defendant as evidence, and this is Von Zieg's best frame. Professor Harebrayne's trusty screwdriver that he named Andrew. There are traces of blood at the tip, and it matches the shape of the victim's wounds. Finally, we can probably see it. So one of Professor Harebrayne's tools is the murder weapon. That certainly is a flathead screwdriver. This is blood. Mr. Aspen's, no doubt. This is the problem with looking at murder weapons. Oh, the back here? I've seen this unusually shaped handle before. Zeke surely makes some interesting choices regarding it. Do you think Von Zeke's like, you know, it's like maybe during class, like, Baroque, I've named my screwdrivers, and then Von Zeke's like, ah, quite, I've named my chalices as well. I've seen this unusually shaped handle before. Yeah, we were the ones who found it. It's the same screwdriver that was lodged in the grill on the floor of the kinesis machine, which could be important information, so I should definitely make a note of it. Yeah, like how could... Because, like, you would think, like, if he's stabbed, right, with this much blood leaking down immediately, instant death, right? Wouldn't the audience be able to see that? Like, you would think, right? Great. Zeke's being a weirdo effect just attracts other weirdos and they become friends. Exactly. He just keeps catching strays, you know? Hold it! What grounds do you have for saying that? You really need to ask. There were only 2 people on that public experimentation stage, in front of the whole crowd. The victim, Mr. Odie Aspen, and the accused, Professor Harebrayne. And we know for certain that before the experiment, the victim was alive. That's right, I saw it with my own eyes. Furthermore, following the explosion in kinesis, nobody went anywhere near the body.
Great Scott!
In other words, only someone else on stage where the victim could possibly have done. Oh, pursue. Let's go.
Excuse me.
Professor Harebrayne, do you have some information that may be relevant here? Dots. Professor. Oh, sorry. I just calculated the optimum coefficient of electrolysis to separate molecules in the human body. And the witness stand is the best place for that. It seemed as though you might have something to say about Inspector Gregson's last remark. Yes, that's right. Of course. He just said that nobody else could have done it, didn't he? Yeah, that's right. Who was gonna stab the victim, eh? I don't know, but... There's no way I could have stabbed Asmon, Mr. Asmon, as you say. Eh? Explain, please, Professor. Of course, this cold-hearted policeman may not be aware, I suppose. But humans are warm-blooded mammals, with blood running continuously through their veins. I had heard. Then surely you see. If I plunged something the size of Andrew into the man's chest, the old stage would have been a bloodbath. No, a blood swimming pool. But thousands of Londoners were watching me at the time. And yet not one of them claims to have seen a swimming pool of blood. Dots. Well, no. I said no. Like that's the thing. It's like, right? Like he was stabbed fatally in the chest and died immediately. Like pierced the heart, right? Look how much blood was already on here. On like this, it's not necessarily white, but like red. Like it's a stark contrast to like this like kind of light pink ass like suit jacket, right? Like literally everyone would have been able to see this. Right? You see, not one. True. I didn't see anything like that. Well done, Professor. That's a great counter-argument. Oh, I thought Von Ziegler was going to say something. Order! Order! Oh. Good sir. I just noticed something about the bottle that you know what, I kind of wish I noticed before. These are scythes. Like you see the logo on the bottle, these are scythes. So like, is his wine bottles like Reaper brand? Like this is just straight up the Grim Reaper, isn't it? These are like the Grim Reaper dual wielding scythes. Right? Am I crazy? Like, what? Anyways. Pray, forgive the discourtesy if I save a drop of my hollow chalice to accompany my old friend seducing. He's not worried at all. Here's to you, Albert. He said the thing. Oh, you're too kind, Baroque. But I'm really not a patch on you. Oh. No, you're not. No. You've neglected to mention one crucial possibility. That you didn't remove it. I have. How many class studies during so far? This is the first one. Particular situation in which very little bleeding will result from a stab wound. Of course. Inspector, enlighten the court, please. Yes, sir. Where are they going with this? Very well. You will amend your formal testimony now, Inspector Gregson. Go on. Objection! Objection! Because it was found at the scene of the at the base of the birdcage. You see that while the weapon remains in the body, there's very little bleeding. Is that unequivocal? Look, there was no blood at the experimentation stage, even though that's where the fellow was stabbed. The only explanation for that is if the screwdriver was still in his body, stopping any heavy bleeding. But bro, do you forget where we found it? It's common medical knowledge, my learned friend, even on your side of the world. Dots. Yes, but about the screwdriver. The thing is, we actually saw it at the scene ourselves, on the experimentation stage. What? It was on the floor by the wreckage of the machine, poking through a metal grill. I went to pick it up, but the detective here stopped me. Isn't that right, Inspector Gregson? Well, now you come to mention it, yes. Inspector, are we to understand that you permitted the defense counsel to investigate? That you contravene the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act? No, not at all. I wouldn't do that. I just let him look, nothing more. I was very clear he wasn't into such a thing. Yes, that's true. The screwdriver was in plain sight on the stage. But it shouldn't have been, should it? What are you getting at? If this tool has been in the victim's body when the victim was beamed away by the machine, then it shouldn't have still been on the stage. That's right. It should have been beamed across to the Crystal Tower along with Mr. Asman. And been found still lodged in the victim's chest. Hold on. How do you explain this, Inspector? Well, I don't. It looks as though everything that the victim had on his person moved with him when he was beamed. Man, look at how confident Ryunosuke is when he's like just pointing things out. If the screwdriver was still in his chest when the instantaneous kinesis occurred, obviously, that should have been beamed to the destination as well. You! This is a strange situation. Even though people are saying that this instantaneous kinesis is a scientific impossibility, they're still basing arguments on the assumption that it did actually take place. Alright, time to tighten the screws here. I mean, is it possible that it was, like, it went upwards and then came down? Or like, it hit like a hot air balloon or something? My lord, the prosecution is unable to explain this inconsistency in its argument. We can only conclude that the testimony given in support cannot be relied upon. Look at his face, it's like, my learned friend has been studying these past 6 months. Lord Von Zieks is stumped. Albert? Albert? What the? Do you have something to say, witness? Yes, I knew it. It bears out. The equation told... Mr. Naruhodo, don't worry. What? What am I not worrying about? What? About what? Albert, what the? Albert! No! Albert, please. Dude, why? Why would you do this? Albert! Oh my god, okay. Without delving into the details, there's no inconsistency. Fucking me, there's no inconsistency. What? Albert, why would you do this? Albert, I need you to shut the fuck up right now. Even if Andrew had been lodged in Mr. Asman's chest. Why are you happy about this? Why the fuck are you happy about this? Why? I'm so... Baroque, how are you friends with this man? My trusty two wouldn't have moved. Andrew remaining on the stage is consistent with my calculations. What? Oh my god. Oh, the trial only just started. He's already thrown his bottle back. Okay. It would seem your illusions have been shattered. Clearly, we should hear the accused's explanation. There goes the bottle. Or should I say, this brilliant scientist's explanation. Bro, don't butter up your friend before killing him. When I'd found an inconsistency in the prosecution's argument, my client decided to fuck me over. Scientists. Very well. The defendant will testify again. Provide us with the scientific explanation as to why the inconsistency asserted by the defense failed to hold. In the name of Apollo, I will, my lord. Why are you invoking Apollo? Sir? The inconsistently explained. Okay. To be clear, I'm still at the stage of gathering data in my research. My hypothesis states the kinesis cannot transport metal, though. Hence, the metal weapon would have stayed put, but his fucking glasses. His fucking glasses are made of metal, are they not? Like, is this not made of metal? Bro? In other words, the point just raised by Mr. Naruhodo isn't an inconsistency at all. Mr. Asman was a patron of my research. Without him, my work wouldn't have been possible. Now I have a duty to protect the incredible machine that we built together. Dots. Should you not be protecting yourself? Dots. Dots. So, the thrust of your testimony, Professor, is... that based upon this hypothesis, metal objects cannot be moved by this method of instantaneous kinesis. In other words, since the screwdriver is made of metal, even if it remained lodged in the victim's chest, its subsequent delivery on the stage despite the victim being found elsewhere is not an inconsistency. I mean, I guess that explains why, like, the straps seem to be made of, like, wood. But also, he's wearing fucking spectacles, bro. He's wearing glasses. These fucking things are made of metal. Let alone, like, this. Unless you're telling me that this was a wooden button. You know? Anyways. And therefore, Professor Albert Harebrayne could still have been the killer. My great hypothesis holds, you see, that god damn it, Albert. We had to make the cage used to contain the subject from wood for that very reason. Wait, it was wood? Really? I was not addressing you, witness. Professor Harebrayne. Yes? Whose side are you on here? I don't take sides, Mr. Naruhodo. No, no, no. My only interest lies in upholding my hypothesis. I'm a scientist after all. Dots. Is he working for us or against us? It's very hard to tell. Let's see how you cross-examine this testimony, my Nipponese friend. I feel like at this point I'm just making like Von Zieg's growl, just a. Yes, fly away, Miss Naruhodo. I am gonna make the claim that I'm gonna call bullshit because the guy was wearing glasses. Hold it! I'm just gonna keep like. You know, I'm just gonna keep pressing into it unless we get like new information. And yet your return to my argument wasn't lacking in confidence in any way. No scientist can find the truth without first finding self-belief. Those are the words of a certain scientist, held in the highest esteem. But you realize that disproving my argument puts you in a very precarious position, don't you? No scientist should strive to protect himself more than he strives to protect the truth. More words of the same great scientist, you know. You could be a lawyer. Words that are causing me a lot of trouble. Who is the scientist? I'm afraid I couldn't tell you, Mr. Naruhodo. But as soon as I remember the magnificent genius's name, you'll be the first to know. It might be worth keeping the names of your idols to mind. You're wasting your breath, my learned friend. This Harebrayne even forgets my name at times. So Lord Von Zieks really did have a friend at once. But I didn't notice how freezing over. God damn, you know, this game. What the fuck? God, why are you God, that's a roast. Jesus. Okay. I'm gonna press on this very specifically. Your hypothesis states it. So this isn't proven then? No, of course not. It's merely a hypothesis. But a good one, based on thousands of calculations. But it is widely known that metals can't be decomposed by electrolysis. Yes, of course. So I am right. My hypothesis is clearly correct. What is it about incriminating himself that makes this man so happy? There's the whole reason that the bird cage is made of wood, you see. Sorry, the bird cage. Yes, that's what I call the obtuse cage in which Mr. Asman was placed for the kinesis. Oh, the jail cell in which the victim was detained. It does indeed seem to be made of a timber of some sort. I'll thank you for not to refer it as an instrument of incineration, your lordship. In short, any weapon launched in the victim when it was beamed away by instantaneous kinesis. Ryunosuke is such a hater. I know, right? He just hates science. I hates logic. Would have been left behind on the stage if it was made of metal. Correct? Yes, that's it! Yes! It all fits perfectly with the mathematical model. But the ultimate conclusion, then, is that the defendant alone had the opportunity to inflict this fatal injury on the victim, is it not? Indeed, sir. Someone beam me out of this nightmare. It shows a stab wound, but it shows this. Right?
Hold it!
You seem to be pleased by that. Yes, and that example of my hypothesis holding true. But I sense some sarcasm, Miss Naruto. Are you not pleased? No. Dots. I knew it. At the end of the day, I'm the one responsible for Mr. Asman losing his life. The advancement of science is no excuse, I know that. No, you're quite right. Elder Court, you have a close relationship with Mr. Asman. Oh, well no, not really. I mean, I only met him 2 or 3 times. And we'll only ever discuss my hypothesis and the project. And the research grants, of course. I'm gonna press on all of these. Because I'm sure it's the glasses, you know? How do you come to know Mr. Asman in the first place? Oh, that's cute, look at that. A year ago now, a small provincial science journal published a little paper about my work. It's a scientific journal. Good gracious, I should need new spectacles. I might have had an extraordinary hypothesis and great promise, but at the time, I had no money. I had to eat tiny little meals at a tiny little cafe and drink watered down water out of a tiny little glass. Watered down water? What? But Mr. Asman read the paper and came to visit me at my tiny little laboratory. And offered you money. And offered you money to fund your work. Exactly! That's exactly what happened. I handled the theoretical side of things, and Mr. Asman provided me with an engineer for the practical. So, who is this engineer? And the 3 of us produced that fantastic machine together. The machine that you brought to the Great Exhibition to demonstrate. We had to apply it to the government for some sort of inspection to be allowed to exhibit, I think. I didn't understand all that side of things. Mr. Asman took care of all of it. He was a wonderful man, really. I owe him everything.
Hold it!
But, when you say you built the machine together, does that mean you were involved in its construction? Yes! Well, not exactly. I'm not good with the practical side of machines myself, so the physical construction was done by an engineer. Little remains of your creation now, though, following the explosion. Repair will no doubt be impossible. Yes, I realize that, but still. If someone were to gather all the broken parts, they could discover the secret of my hypothesis. But Mr. Asman and I toyed over that machine for so long. We put our hearts and souls into it. I have to protect our work. So what's left of the machine must be kept safe. That's only fair. Because what happened was an accident. That's the extent of the testimony then. Thank goodness for that. I don't want him doing any more damage. He already basically proven that he could have been the culprit. But it seems as though all he really cares about is defending his hypothesis. Still, I wonder, what if his hypothesis is just fundamentally flawed? like, again, it has to be the glasses. Because it is just made of metal, right? Metal and glass.
Objection!
There we go. Professor Harebrayne, you said that according to your hypothesis, nothing made of metal can be beamed by instantaneous kinesis using the machine you made. Is that right? Yes, that's right. Spot on. Exactly correct. In that case, I'd ask you to have a look at this photograph that was taken at the scene. Are you telling me it's made of wood? In particular, I'd like you to pay attention to the victim's face. You can clearly see that Mr. Asman is wearing a pair of spectacles with a metal rim. What? Metal? No. Metal can't. That's not. Metal? No! We've already established that the proposed murder weapon, the screwdriver, was found on the stage. However, if your hypothesis correctly predicted that outcome, it should have also predicted that the metal rimmed spectacles would be found in the same place. Ah! My hypothesis! My hypothesis! Okay, let's go. Professor Harebrayne, this isn't easy for me to say, but your hypothesis is fundamentally flawed. And your hypothesis is clearly flawed. Oh! Look at that. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Counsel, what is the implication of this? If, on the day in question, the alleged instantaneous kinesis never actually took place, then it's entirely possible that the victim was killed somewhere other than on the stage. And in that case, someone other than the defendant could have been the culprit. But my hypothesis! My hypothesis is sound! I proved it that day! The experiment was a success! The experiment was proof of all my work! If I could say something here, in my capacity as a fellow of the Royal Society. Yes, juror number 4. Go ahead. As a man of science, there's one thing I simply cannot abide. And that's a fraud who pretends to be a fellow man of science, but did he not get a degree as well? No? What? White! Great Scott! Are you suggesting my science is suspect? It's just been disproved, hasn't it? In front of all of us. In other words, the whole demonstration was complete nonsense from start to finish. Believe me, my fellow jurors, when I tell you that this man is a heel, a bounder, and a fraud. I say the wreckage of that machine should be stripped down and thoroughly examined. Wow, you brought out your newspaper too? No! Never! The machine is the essence of my entire hypothesis. It's protected by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. What the devil is that blasted act all about, eh? Who made up such a daft rule? The British government, dude. I don't like the way this seems to be going. It's the best way for me to help the professor. I mean, raise an objection, because, like, regardless, right? Like, that's not the thing.
Objection!
Professor Harebrayne has yet to perfect his invention. That would seem to be the case, correct? Like, I feel like it's better to raise the objection than to not, because we are still defending. Because, like, we need to get it back on track, right? Because what's on trial right now is not proving his hypothesis. It's that proving that at least someone else could have possibly killed him, right? So we're getting off track. But even so, what? Going to such trouble and expense to create a fake machine to display in public. The government grant, Renoskate. The government grant. Man, why would I raise an objection if this is what you're gonna say, Renoskate? Damn it. He would have absolutely no reason to do such a thing.
Objection.
There we go. He had an obvious reason to do exactly that. But a researcher grants money. If the government was foolish enough to have deemed the man's ridiculous notion plausible, he and his conspirators would have received a handsome sum indeed. Conspirators? What would be the value of such a grant? 10 pounds. 10 pounds? No. You're an order of magnitude out, madam. 500 pounds a year. Oh, Allah! I can live handsome on that much for years. The society's noticed an increase in bogus public demonstrations in the field of science recently. And plenty of scientists arguing with each other to get the largest slice of the funding cake. People's greed is plenty motive enough for murder, I assure you. No, I haven't deceived anyone, least of all the government. My hypothesis is sound, the science is sound, please, you must believe me.
Objection.
No matter how unbelievable this hypothesis may seem to you, ladies and gentlemen, the fact remains that the victim was transported instantly to the Crystal Tower. Which means that the experiment was a success. Man, like, literally Von Zieg's doing better to defend, like, Albert's, like, machine than us, or his hypothesis than us. Like, man, come on, man. Ah, Baroque! And therefore, the only person who could have possibly have committed this murder is the accused. Ah, Baroque. Oh my god. Your dynamic is so good. Where's this heading? I have no idea. My lord, if I may. Yes, Lord Von Zieks. The prosecution would like to summon new witnesses to the stand. New witnesses? What will be the nature of their involvement? They were spectators of the demonstration at the exhibit, who were occupying special seats. Eyewitnesses? Very well. The court grants the prosecution's request. I should very much like to hear from eyewitnesses to the incident. The prosecution's stance is clear. This experiment was no Postish? Pastiche, okay. Let's see. Like, it was no sham, okay. The accused killed the financier victim there on the public stage before the very eyes of the spectators. Now, my learned friend, Oh, yes. It's time for you to make your own stance clear. There's clearly a flaw in the professor's hypothesis. I can definitely see that. But where does that leave me? We shall take a short recess now. During which time, the prosecution will prepare its new witnesses to take the stand. As you wish, my lord. Good. Good. In that case, court is adjourned for 20 minutes. Is it a to be continued, or is it just like a we wait for it to happen? Oh, it is a to be continued. Dang. Okay. Such a dramatic bow, right? Yeah. Okay, so we did actually make it to man. All right. Nice. That was really cool. Nice. Trial part. It's still part 1? What the fuck? Okay. Interesting. If that's the case, I think I'm gonna call it here. I thought like it was gonna go on for longer, but we managed to get that done pretty speedily. That was pretty good. So, yeah. Let's see. I feel like I should play more Ace Attorney tomorrow, just so we can like, get down to the bottom of what exactly is happening here. Yeah. So I'll make that a tomorrow thing. Yeah. So thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. If you've got the rest of the day going for you, please have a very, very, very wonderful rest of your day. If you need to rest and decompress, you're gonna be like I do, then. So yeah, send me to you. Good night. I honestly should be getting some sleep because I just walked around a lot during my little convention run. So yeah, super fun. More Ace Attorney tomorrow. We'll be getting more to the bottom of this case. Yes. So yeah, I'll see y'all for that tomorrow. So let's go do a raid. Follow my raid message, my raid alt, and my raid sub. And we're gonna be making our way to Marsh. Let's do it. So for those that don't know Marsh Ghosty, Marsh is a ghost that has inhabited a marshmallow and also my model mom. So let's go on over and give her a very, very, very good old Snow Patrol greeting, shall we? Yeah. So let's go say hi to mom. And she's currently playing some Honkai Star Rail right now. I think she's trying to pull for Casterus, maybe? So yeah, should be some fun showtimes. And I think she's playing the new content for Honkai. I also need to get back to streaming Honkai. I need to get back into that. But yeah, I will see y'all tomorrow. So in any case, well, it's Toya. And as always, this has been Toya. And I'll see you